my name is Annie, and some of you may be wondering, hey Annie, are you wearing a lab coat? Or is it an art smock? And the answer is both. Today, we are going to be combining science and art to do some really cool activities for learners in pre-kindergarten all the way up to grade 3. These activities are great because they introduce topics such as density, solubility, and the states of matter in ways that are beautiful and creative. In these activities, you will notice that they are less about a final product and more about the process. And this is great because it encourages students to be creative, ask questions, and make predictions. Here are all the materials that you are going to need. Let's get started with this first activity where we will be observing properties of density, and we'll be working with two different liquids of different densities to produce water droplet art. So what we will do is have students mix their desired color using just a little bit of water, and I've got some blue watercolor paint here. After I've mixed all that together, I can go ahead and add some oil. Now these liquids are different densities, so we can have students make a prediction here. Will the liquids mix together? What do they predict will happen? You could use a syringe. I'm just going to pour some of the liquid in and see what kind of reaction I get. And right away we can see all of the oil, which looks really interesting. I'll try to do a mixture of drops and little spots here. Next up, we can observe those two liquids not really mixing together, and students can see if their predictions are correct. Next up, I'm going to take a piece of watercolor paper and dip it in, and we'll see what happens next. And lift it out. And here we go. So as you can see, the oil prevents the watercolor from adhering to the paper, and that is because we do not have an emulsifier and these liquids are of different densities. So now what you can do to make this project a little bit more interesting is perhaps use it as a silhouette. So I can stick a cityscape. Again, this is a little bit messy and oily. And there we have it, a really cool art project where we have observed density. In this activity, we will be using watercolor and wax crayons to create some really cool effects in a painting that deals with the properties of water. So, as we can see, I've got a wax crayon here, and this wax crayon is hydrophobic, and that means it does not like to stick to water. So firstly, what students are going to do is outline the design that they would like to not have any paint on. And for inspiration today, I'm using a Ted Harrison painting. He is a Canadian artist, so that's a really great idea if you're not really sure where to start. So I've already gone ahead and done that. It is very hard to see because, again, I did use a white crayon, and now I get to put the watercolor on top. At this point, you could have students make some predictions here. I can start to see the wax crayon outline here. I believe this is my whale, and I'm going to go up and do some more of the water. All right, now that I've taken some time to let everything dry, hopefully you can see the crayon that is not preventing that watercolor from sticking. I can see my whale, some of the lines of the waves, and it has a really cool effect. So once again, that is due to the hydrophobic nature of our wax crayons and it really not wanting to stick to that water. In this last activity, we are going to be doing ice cube art. Keep in mind that this activity takes time to freeze. Firstly, review with students the different states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. During this activity, students will take note of what different states of matter are changing during the experiment. So let's get started. First, I have some watercolor paint, and I'm just going to add this to water in a small container, just as much as you would like, and students can pick the colors that they would like to use. I'm going to give that a mix, and that watercolor will start to saturate the water. Perfect. Now that that's ready, I'm going to put that in the freezer, and these are my results. We've got some ice cold watercolor here, and now we can start painting. So I've got some watercolor paper, and I'm going to use my blue first. Gets a really pretty color. You can change the saturation of the color if you would like. And I'm going to try my yellow. Definitely a little bit messy, but a lot of fun. Maybe I'll see if I can make some green. There we go. So students can experiment with this, making different colors and observing different states of matter. All right, there you have it. Those were 3 art activities that combine science and art into really cool results that I hope you will incorporate in your classroom. In terms of assessment, you can assess these activities formatively as students ask questions and think of hypotheses in each of the different experiments. If you are interested in seeing a list of resources, references, as well as 2 bonus activities, please see the attached lesson guide. These activities work really nicely in rotating centers, and I would say that they take 5 to 10 minutes each, but all together could be combined into a 60-minute lesson, all on the topic of science and art. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy getting messy and being creative.